In September 2025, we took a cruise around the UK and Ireland, and this time we were in an inside cabin, a first for us. So come along for a tour of cabin C126 on the Regal Princess, and I'll share the pluses and minuses we discovered about this cosy little space. Let's start with a quick look at the Regal Princess. Originally launched in 2014, she's one of 6 Royal class ships operated by Princess. The 7th is operated by P&O, also part of the Carnival group called Britannia, which is a fun little fact for you. Regal Princess was the second of this particular class to launch. Now I'll be doing a full ship tour separately, so I won't go into too much detail here, but briefly, she has 19 decks, accommodates 3,560 guests and 1,346 crew. After a major refurb during her 2022 dry dock, she's still keeping up nicely with her newer sisters. We normally go for a balcony cabin, but thanks to earning enough points on our Italy cruise in May, we both managed to snag a free cruise. I say free lightly here, you still have to pay for port fees, taxis and for any packages you want on top. We really wanted to use both offers, but doing 2 more cruises this year and upgrading to a balcony just wasn't in the budget, so inside cabin it was. I'll be honest, I was a little worried I'd miss the fresh air, so stay tuned till the end of the video and I'll give you my honest opinion. Cabin C126 is an inside stateroom for 2 people measuring around 166 square feet located on deck 10, Caribe. Here's where it sits in relation to the rest of the floor. Because we booked as part of the casino stateroom offer and only booked it 3 months before sailing, we didn't really have a huge selection. Normally we'd pick a higher deck, but this one wasn't near the lifts, laundry or anything noisy, so it's definitely a win. This is going to be quite a quick tour since there's a compact space, but let's start with the bed. I found most Princess beds really comfy and this one was no exception. It's 2 large singles sit together to form a king size bed, but I've never found you can feel the joins, so no uncomfortable lumps to worry about. Each side gets 2 pillows, and if you like a little extra fluff like me, you can always ask your room steward for more or order extras through the app. You've got 2 bedside tables, each with a lamp, a shelf and 2 drawers, plenty of space for small items or clothing. At the end of the bed is the desk area. Starting on the left, there's a bit of counter space, though surprisingly no kettle tray. This was a British cruise after all. We did ask for one though, and they were happy to provide one. Just a note though, if your cruise hasn't already got your kettle and mug set up, you will have to go and get your cups, teas, coffees and milk from the buffet, and it won't be refreshed daily, you'll have to fetch your own. It's no big deal though, I just like my herbal tea before bed, so if you want a kettle, just ask for one. Underneath that area, you'll find a drawer with a hairdryer. Decent enough, though not going to win any salon awards. It's fixed inside the drawer, so don't yank it out or you'll be battling the furniture. Below that are 3 more decent sized drawers. Honestly, I was super impressed by the storage space in this room. Next to that is the fridge, good size too. You can no longer stash those free canned drinks that I used to grab from a bar on the way back to the room. And yes, I tested it, you will get charged for canned drinks now. But it's perfect for any drinks you want to pick up ashore or for keeping your milk for your tea and coffee cool. Then there's the desk, mirror and chair, ideal for hair, makeup or even a bit of work. It's comfortable enough, though when someone's sitting in the chair, squeezing past can be a bit of a shuffle thanks to the room's compact nature. The desk has plenty of sockets, both the US and European style. However, note here that these are the only sockets in the room. There are none by the bed, so you do have to charge your phone across the room, which isn't the end of the world granted, but I'm a bit sad that they didn't include at least one USB by the bed during its dry dock in 2022. On the desk is your room phone for guest services, and just above to the left is a large TV, and it looks huge in this room. The angle's perfect for watching from bed, and it's wall mounted so it doesn't really intrude into the room. If you're new to Princess, this is where you'll watch your muster video before heading to your muster station. You can also now watch it on your phone while waiting for your room to be ready, which is a nice little time saver. Every cabin has a thermostat, nothing too scientific here, up for warmer, down for cooler. By the entrance there's a full length mirror, perfect for a final check before heading out for the evening in all your glam. To the right of the entrance, just outside the bathroom, is the wardrobe. There are plenty of hangers and space for 2 people for nearly 2 weeks. There's a shelf on top for extra bits, and we usually stash our cases underneath here and toss our dirty clothes in as we go to keep things tidy. Next to that are even more shelves, floor to ceiling. Storage is definitely not an issue here. You'll find the safe on one of the shelves, big enough for jewellery, passports and documents, though not big enough for a laptop. Super easy to use. Close it, type a 4-digit code and you're good to go. To open it, put back in that 4-digit code. Simples. Now on to the bathroom. It's about the same size as those in larger cabins and perfectly adequate. There's a good sized sink area with space for toiletries, plus hand wash and lotion are provided. On the right wall are a few shelves, just be careful not to store anything too tall or top heavy in here, as it will try to escape in rough seas. 2 glasses are provided as well, just in case you need them. Under the sink you'll find the sanitary bags, a bin and, my nemesis, the world's worst toilet roll holder. It's awkwardly placed right behind you, so we usually move it somewhere more sensible. Just don't put it by the sink or you'll end up with soggy toilet paper. The toilet itself is fine, standard cruise ship setup. I do appreciate that Princess also provides a toilet brush. Just don't overdo the toilet paper or you'll be making an embarrassing call to guest services about the vacuum system. Just to the left of the toilet you will also find the face tissues, which I'm really glad they include. Note these are not to be put down the toilet either. Once finished with, pop them in the bin. You get 2 bath towels and 2 hand towels. We do reuse ours, so there is a hanger on the back of the door to hang them up. When you're ready for new ones, just leave them on the floor of your bathroom and your steward will change them. The shower's actually pretty good, even with my rounder shape I fit comfortably, and Luke at 6'2" has no issues either. It has temperature controls, an adjustable shower head and a little shelf for shampoo. The only downside is the shower curtain. It's got a mind of its own and insists on clinging to you mid-shower. I've learned to stand further back to avoid a soggy bath mat and impromptu bathroom floor wash. There's a small low shelf for extra products, handy for anyone who doesn't want to risk bending down and bumping their head. They provide shampoo and body wash, the same brand as the sink ones. I actually like the shampoo, so I won't bother bringing my own next time, just a really decent conditioner. The scent isn't as strong as it used to be, but that's probably a good thing for those sensitive to fragrances or with sensitive skin. One last note, there's a small lip at both the bathroom entrance and the shower, so watch your step, don't trip, and just bear this in mind if you have accessibility issues. These bathrooms are pretty standard on all rooms that are not accessible. And there you have it, Cabin C126. It was a good location being on deck 10, not too far from anywhere, and we were at the front, and as we do frequent the casino of an evening, it did mean it was handy to get back from there. The room for the most part was quiet, and I was concerned about the noise from the corridor as you are much closer to the door in an inside cabin than a balcony. One issue I did find is that you can hear the announcements in the corridor, and it's quite loud. And if you are in a tender port, these started at around 7 AM, and as I am not an early riser, this did wake me up. They kept going, so going back to sleep wasn't really an option. If you are a heavier sleeper though, it probably wouldn't be much of an issue. The room itself was a fine size for 2 of us, and I didn't miss the extra room compared to a balcony as much as I thought. Especially as I did find not having the balcony, we did spend more time out of the cabin than we normally do. I didn't feel like at any time we were on top of each other, and we had plenty of storage, so nothing ever felt cluttered. Now, saying this, on an upcoming video we stayed in our second inside cabin, which slept 4, and without spoiling anything, I did not have the same opinion. So don't forget to like, subscribe and hit that notification button to see what was so different. What I did miss was some fresh air. Even though this cruise was around the UK, so it wasn't really warm enough to sit out like that, I did miss just being able to open the door and get some sea breeze rather than having to get in a lift and head to the top deck. So ultimately, would I stay in an inside cabin again? Absolutely, but with caveats. I would like to be higher up with easier access to the outside areas, and I would only have an inside cabin that slept 2 people. It might not bother some people, especially if you have 2 small children with you, but for me I think 2 people in this size of room is all I would be comfortable with. I think storage and personal space wise, I think it would be too tight for 4 adults or 2 adults and 2 older children. I hope you've enjoyed this video of our first inside cabin. Thanks for watching, and until next time, happy travels.